Alright, hopefully I can get everything into this video. What a crazy and wild weekend. I spent 2 days at the swap meet, and I think I basically made only $30. You know, I took out somewhere between 60 and 80 just as a precaution, and then I got recouped 30 of that back. It was one of the worst weekends I've ever had, ever. And if you think this whole economy, confidence is way down thing is a joke, there were people that were passing on all kinds of things, and people were hemming and hawing. People had the excuse that they had to go to the ATM and never came back to get some stuff. I had things to different people that were sold 2 or 3 times for $10, and they never came back to pay. It was the most ridiculous thing. I think my friend made 70 last month. He, made like 400 plus or something ridiculous. So, not a great time at all. And it was not me, it was all the vendors, even the ones that do very well, did mediocre, and the mediocre ones that went down a trickle down. So, lots of stuff. I will say that the hot thing at this show was baseball cards. I mean, people were selling baseball cards like hotcakes. Then they eventually slowed down. Somebody got a partial set of 89 Fleer for like $3. I got a binder of cards for $5. The vintage was selling quite well from the magical box that keeps giving. Somebody supposedly, one of the vendors told me he got 2 Ryan Sandberg rookie cards out of there, but I didn't see it. I didn't see those. I guess he must have got it to it before I did. I really don't know. I got there pretty much at opening, but some people got there way earlier. I left at around 5:30, just before 5:30, and got there at 6 because I had to buy gas. And some people are already set up, so it was really super crazy. But I watched my friend's booth, and by the time I got there, or he got there at 9, I think, and I had made $0, not one sale of anybody's stuff, nothing. The morning crowd was just non-existent. And I have like a friend that I've known for a long time. I went to school with his son, and I didn't see him. And then I saw other people I knew, but they didn't even make to our building. And it was just one of the most demoralizing experiences because, like I said, I had somebody come up to my table with look at a Breyer horse, and I said, well, it was supposed to go to the neighbor's kids, but I haven't got around to it. So at the last minute, I threw it on the table for 10. And they said, that's a good price. And she said, it's worth $35, and walked off. And somebody else almost bought it. And you can't buy a Breyer horse without a broken foot or a broken, tail or something for $10. So I don't know what people were thinking, And there was some other really cool stuff. I might have to show you some of that at the end, but I'm going to do cards here for the most part, and show you some of my other pickups. I picked this card up here. The stack was just here a second ago. I got this on eBay, and it had wax stains on it. Might to rub a little further there, but I got a Don Lee that I didn't have. I'm going to try to get that sent out, but I'm waiting on one more card that's got paint on it. The best cards were the ones, there's a little spot that I got on the back there, so I'm going to try to clean that off there, and hopefully on the back there, hopefully just a little water will take care of that, and it did, so that's good. I had a drip of soda or something that came flying off, and then it landed on the card, and now they're both gone. They were just surfaced, so that's perfect. You won't even know any difference there, so you don't need Kurt's Card Care for that one there. Several TTMs came in. I don't know why this really banged up. It almost looks like a glued on or some really wrinkled gross stamp there. And I thought I had enough postage, and I don't remember when I sent this out it had 44, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. So this could have been gone a very long time. I'm not sure. And I don't remember, yeah, I think it was gone forever. Gordon Johncock, I thought that was gone forever. That could have been 2 or 3 years ago. Because I have something ridiculous like 58 cents on there. Maybe even longer than that. And I gave him a stamp to keep, but Gordon Johncock has also autographed my stamp there. That's kind of neat, actually. So that was a gift to him for signing, and people are not keeping their gifts. They're giving it back to me and autographing it. So very strange there, but Gordon Johncock on a 1984, and I haven't sent out these cards in a very, very long time. So he probably, I don't know, it's a really messed up, almost a glued on stamp there or something very weird there. I got one more autograph request, and that is it. I had one RTS and I can't show you that. So there's an index card that was in here not signed. Don't know anything about that one, but this is a recent send out. I thought I had more cards. I don't remember if this black line was on the card, but it is now. Really banged up Topps original buyback there of Dick Bosman. So I had to get that one out to him. Just absolutely thrashed. So I don't know. It adds to the character of it. There's a silver buyback foil stamp there. And we have a 76 Dick Bosman. I think I had that one and bought another one. But again, finding these TTM cards is just dang near impossible. So we got through all of that. Let's show you what I picked up. And I think this hopefully is the 2 days worth. It doesn't look like it. There should be some more cards here. So I may have to make 2 videos. Oh no, I got it all here. Okay, so there are some cards I picked up yesterday, which I was being very sparingly because I was making nothing. So some of them are still in top loaders and some of them are not. Fred Boletkin, there's that one there. Also, there was lots of 90 Donruss at the show for like 5 cents a card. Other people were just really ridiculous on prices. Tons and tons of Pokemon. Larry Raines, 58. It's not as mint as the camera is picking up here, but he was part of the Negro Leagues. He was part of the minor leagues. He was part of the major leagues, and he was part of the Japan leagues. And he was the first African-American or first person to do that. So how interesting is that one there? And he's only worth like $1 on ComC. So my 75 cents was, you know, okay. I can't really tell through there might be some more scuff marks on it, but anyway, I didn't pay too much. Juan Pizarro, 68. There were no high numbers in that box. There were some that were darn close. Bob Buell, again, he's like 50 cents on ComC, so no deal there. Steve Blass only because that's TTM, but I have no other Steve Blasses. So what am I going to do? Order more Steve Blasses at $2 a card, $1 for the card, and $1 for shipping. And sometimes it's even hard to find that card at $2. One guy, the guy that found 2 Ryan Sandberg rookie cards supposedly in that box, I never saw those. I bought some cards from him, not very many, just a binder's worth. And my buddy, I say my buddy, but acquaintance, Nolan, bought so many. Oh, he bought a lot of stuff. But anyway, so, and he got scorching deals. He doesn't buy anything unless it's practically free. But this guy was saying that like the Robin Youts he pulled out there, everything was like $10 a card. And I looked on COMC and they're like 50 cents to 75 cents for the later Robin Youts from the late 70s. So he was more grabbing Hall of Famers and thinking they were worth $10. But I explained if they're not perfect 10s, if they're not this and this and this, they all get cast off on the I don't want to ever see it again pile. Bob Buell, 59. Like I said, the economy basically put everybody into a bad spending mood. And then the same thing at this big honking huge garage sale. I told people about it and they say, oh, that's cool, but I'm not doing that right now. Gary Geiger, I don't think he's still alive, but we shall see. Jim King, I think he's passed on, 61. Roy Face, I don't know, we'll see. I've got another card that I might send out to him, and $5 or whatever he may or may not need, I don't know. The 3 Amigos, Bando, Campaneris, and Cater. I don't know if any of those guys are still alive. I think Bando might be 5, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they're all still alive. I don't really remember what they charge anymore. Humberto Robinson, just because it's a relatively decent 59. I was talking to a nice set collector, but everything he was pulling out was all duplicates. He didn't bring his list, but he basically has all the 50 sets already built. What craziness is that? Then there was another one of these, it's Ted Simmons. I got one. I should have grabbed the other one. But again, people are not looking for cards that have whiting around the edges. They want pristine stuff. So 75 cents looked like it was a fair deal, even though Ted Simmons is Ted Simmons. Bob Lilly was probably the best one. I think that's looking at like $7 or $8 on ComC. And, you know, in this particular grade there, I think. So he charges $5. I might send that one out. Jim Rivera, I don't think he's still around. But I was going to see if this was a better copy. Jake Wood, 64. Jerry Buchek. These are guys that have, like, these are the biggest names on the planet. Tommy Harper, believe me or not, that's not even worth $1 in that condition. You can get it for like 75 cents. So I didn't really make any money, but I was there and I didn't have to pay shipping on them. Then there's some other ones I got. Gil Peralta, and somebody said, oh man, that's amazing. And I said, if it's his rookie card, it is. But if it's not his rookie card, so I don't know. It's somewhere in that time frame, maybe a couple years before that. So let's look up Gilbert Peralta here, or Perot, sorry. Let's go to COMC, and I was looking up Robin Yountz here, Gilbert, and he should show up here. Gilbert, there it is. Now let's see what his rookie card is, and we'll be done with that very, very quickly. We're already halfway done with my time here. So, yeah, so his OPC vintage is like $87. Let's see what the Topps one is here, valued at here. The Topps one here, the Topps one in similar grades, and this is maybe a little nicer. It's VG Plus or something like that. Some people are asking $3 or $4 for this one, it looks like. So, not a super stupendous card there, but it's better than paying 75 cents. And, okay, somebody's asking just under $5. So, yeah, $3.75 to $4, and graded, it's just bananas. We got a Mel Daniels on the Sounds there. Don't remember if Mel is still around there, but I figured might as well grab that. I don't think he is anymore. Haven Moses, I think he might still be a signer. We shall see. And then I got some worthless Pokemon trainers. When I said, do you have any trainers? I should have asked him, you know, and then there was another guy that had some trainers that were as low as $3. They were between $3 and $5, which is the ongoing price there. These are the 10-cent variety, so I got a bunch of, you know, nothing burger cards here. But I just bought them for my information. I should have bought a few more. I just bought $1.50's worth. My friend's son was irritating me to no end when I was looking at Pokemon and messing up what I was trying to do. And I said, I'm sorry, sir, but I just can't buy anything right now. I'm being distracted. So I said I might come back. And I never did. Then I picked up Leroy Jordan for 75 cents. I think that's $5 to send out to him. Barry Latman, because, you know, what's a 59 common anyway. I grabbed Ken McMullen. I don't remember if he still signs or not, but it was a really nice card. They think they had 4 examples of that, and I should have bought all 4 of them. And then ending out those cards is Chico Fernandez, so that's cool. I didn't realize it's cut very well, except for down here it jogs over. So unfortunate there, but it's cut pretty well for one of those cards there. So 75 cents, that's about the going rate for the cheapest ones on COMC that have some major damage. Then I got a Mattingly binder, and this guy, it had a sticker saying Mattingly binder 30, but he charged me $5. The binder has got to go into some sort of hazmat unit there, and he pulled out any Mattingly rookies that may have been in there, and it's just basically the worst cards of the 90s in here, and I think I actually need 3 cards, but for $5, I got a whole page of that. There's some 86 Leafs there. And they're double-backed cards, so some highlights cards. My eyes are starting to itch really bad. There's none of them missing trademark ones, so the errors are not there. Double pages. I have every single one of those. The only ones I may not have, and all those, you know, the usual suspects. 2 pages of Gross Donruss there. I might be missing that one there. That might be Boardwalk and Baseball. I'm not sure what that, or some sort of Topps Glossy. The Woolworth one I might be missing here. So the ones that I'm missing actually paid for the binder. And then the rest of them I can just do whatever the crud I want with them. But throw the binder in the absolute worst place and get rid of it. I have every one of those. I might be needing the Superstars of Baseball. I doubt it. And then towards the end of the binder, we don't need to go through every single card in here because this is just ho-hum. Very end of the binder here, I have every one of those, unless there's some, you know, weird errors I'm not knowing of here. I think the Kids Illustrated one might be one I need. And then when I get to the end here, I think I was missing this power hitting combo right here with it's probably Greenwell, and then I think maybe that Sportflix. There's a really poorly cut Yankees one there, or some weird one that's cut very bizarro there. I don't think I had that one or that one. So the last few pages had some, and then there's like a little collectibles type thing in here, and some more bogus cards there. I needed that one there, and I got another 85 there. So, and I got a couple of those, which I might have needed. I'm not sure. So, and a little Mattingly booklet there, but that binder's got to go bye-bye. Then I picked up a poster here, and I hope I have enough time. Oh, I have plenty of time here. I don't have everything I picked up. You know, I try to stay focused here. I should have bought more of these because I didn't see my friend that does Legos. A Star Wars The Skywalker Saga poster. It's in mint condition, but it got folded or partially in the car. And it's got all the different Disney Lucasfilm, PlayStation 5 and Xbox stuff on the back of it. And it says Star Wars Luke Skywalker Saga there. And I need to get a frame of that because I knocked over the tripod there. So, sorry about that. I will get the tripod set back up here. Very frustrating, but I should have got more of those. I didn't realize if my friend had already saw the booth, but he probably wasn't there. He just probably gave up and forgot. And that's a lot of people just, I mean, there was a crowded spot for just a brief moment, but it was dead city. I mean, there was some initial sales being made, and like I said, it took me all day to make 2 days to make $30, and that's the worst I've ever done in my entire lifetime, thanks to the current administration. Can't blame it on Biden because essentially he's at home resting with an ice cream cone, and that's not doing anything to fix things. Now we're going to do 2 more laser discs and 1 record here. This record is not worth as much as I thought, but actually it's a promotional only record, so that's kind of cool. If the cover hadn't been treated like absolute garbage, this is Dead or Alive Youthquake, and the vinyl inside of it is really dirty, but once I get the grit off there, it's in awesome condition. So I thought that was awesome. But it doesn't have like a white label promo. I don't think it says anything about the promo on there. So the record, who knows if that came with this or not. And it's really scratchy in there. So I got to blow out the dirt of that. That's really poorly taken care of. And then I got 2 Laserdiscs. I know nothing about Laserdiscs, but I bought 2 of the most bizarre titles I can. Laserdisc Fun and Games. I do have a Laserdisc player. They were selling like a lead balloon. They were $2 a piece, all kinds of really interesting titles. I rarely ever see anybody asking less than $7 for Laserdiscs. So there's that one about Fun and Games. No idea what this is. So we shall see what that is. It's probably worth nothing. And then I got some bizarre French movie. I can't show you the back picture because it's a little on the oops side. I don't think too much is showing there, but I just really don't want to in case. Academy Award nomination for Best Foreign Film, Best Actress, and Best Screenplay. Cousin or Cousine, whatever. I have no idea what this is. I was hoping to find some documentaries and things, but again, there was really bad VCR tape collection. That was almost non-existent. There was a really bad DVD collection. Even though people wanted $1, that's way too much. Way too much. And so it really was very, very thin. Lots of stuff to look at, and lots of Pokemon and lots of baseball cards, but you just had to be there at the right time. And then once the few items chopped off the top of it, somebody did a really sweet deal on some old Dukes of Hazzard toys, and I missed out. I think a $10 bill was forked over for all those. I would have probably paid $20 for that and then gone even more in the hole. So that's what I got. Very little TTM fuel and just very frustrating, but it was a nice day. Talked to lots of nice people that had no money, and that's about the size of it. We had really nice records, you know, and people were saying that I would never pay $50. Not one person, 0 people. It makes me so angry. I told them about Record Store Day. They had no idea what was going on, and they told me it was all a scam. You know what? And I really hate giving people free advice and they won't take it. I said, you know what? Look up Record Store Day and you'll see why. And then you're like, well, why are my records costing me so much? If you don't know the answer, I mean, all the answers are there for free. And if you can't read one dumb little article about Record Store Day, or even go to a record store when it was happening and find out that, you know, some of your records are 20% off that you've been crying about that were too expensive, they were having blowout deals and all kinds of free swag and things like that, you know, and I told them about the Taylor Swift one that sold out and they'd already doubled, you know. So if you're really crying about money, and then one guy was trying to sell his records all for $25 each, and they were looking like $2.50 to $10 at the highest point on Discogs. Nobody even knew about Discogs. These guys are in their 50s to 70s. Okay, nobody knew about Record Store Day. Nobody knew about Discogs. This is the same crew of people that, fondled their Beckett's when they were younger. And they say, oh, Beckett, I love your prices, baby. Oh, yeah, my Commons are worth so much money. My Nolan Ryans and, oh, my Don Mattingly's that should be worth $5 a card now, or like 25 cents to 50 cents. It was that kind of crowd there. So I handed out free information and nothing was sold. We met a new guy named Tony that was setting up at my friend's booth. He had some nice stuff and it was a good product, but his product was $40 and it was a fair price, and probably a larger market would have sold some stuff, but he sold nothing. And so I feel bad, even worse for people, and but it was a good time to meet with friends. And I saw plenty of my friends there, and there were plenty of opportunities to wipe out the cards and the Pokemon. It was nice to see stuff in person, and I would have loved to buy some of those full art trainers, but I was dragged away, and I didn't have, it was towards the end of the show, and I missed out. And one guy, unfortunately, had a really awesome table, but his wife got ultra sick, food poisoning, and had a really awful night having to stay up with her and making sure she was okay. And I felt so bad for him. So it could have been much worse. So a lot of people were having an average day, and the rest of the people didn't even pay for their freaking tables. Thanks to some people who say we're all gonna be rich. And in today's interview, he said we're all gonna be freaking rich and we're gonna be swimming in cash. And I just wanted to take that guy and smash his brains out, because some of us were really in a world of hurt today because we relied on some of that money. And I took out some money to just break even so I could pay for my stuff, and it didn't happen. But I had a good time otherwise. And if you missed out, there's always next month. And if I don't see you next month, then sayonara. I'm just joking. But anyway, that's my rant video, my long video. And and by the way, I'll show some pictures at the end of the video. Goodwill has been dreadfully thin because people don't want to donate anymore, and it's garage sale season. They had almost empty bins. In fact, one of them was almost 100% empty. All they brought out was books and shoes. And no person on the planet should have to pay $2.79 for a book at a bin store. $2.79, and then they throw them away at the end of the day. Ridiculous. And all these shoes are by weight. $2.79 a pound. So a lot of people are paying $6 to $10 for freaking shoes that were passed up at the main store, that were $17 to $20 at the main store. If somebody has a bad foot fungus and they decide they got rid of their shoes because it was the wrong size, or because they messed up the toe, or the soles were cracking, or because they have some sort of incurable foot disease, and they decided to donate the shoes out of the kindness of their heart, and then Goodwill says $20 on shoes. It's basically saying, by the way, if you need something super bad in a poor economy, we're doubling the price. So how ridiculous. They used to be $6 or $7 for shoes, and now they're almost $20. It's a disgusting universe that we have right now, but there's nothing you can do about it. Eggs at one time were $4 and something, now they're back up to 10 or something crazy. I have no idea what is going on anymore. So I hopefully will be able to make the next one, but it might conflict with something else I'm trying to get to one of these days. So absolutely no earthly clue. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I tried to download the CBS app as well, and I was able to do that, but it still told me that I need to sign on with my TV provider. And I don't have a TV provider, and that was not basically disclosed to me until I spent 4 hours downloading all kinds of programs to get the CBS app to go onto my computer, and I cannot use it. Unless I have some internet provider that I can figure out. I didn't see anything that resembled what I have on their dumb little list here, and they don't want me to watch their TV, so I'll basically not watch it. I will boycott them. The big three that are trying to get me to, it's absolutely just a scam. TV is a scam these days. So that is all I have. I ran out of time on the camera. I'm going to have a little bit more soda, finish off my Pepsi, and thank you for watching.